I feel really fortunate to be able to hand the business off to BC Greenhouse Builders. It's emotional. I have the greatest respect for the BC team. Well, I thought greenhouses were very interesting, and I guess the reason I got into it is I got tired of working for my old Norwegian boss, and read an ad in the Seattle Times about somebody wanted a partner to help run their business. So I joined up with him, and we worked together for about 2 months, and then he went to Texas, and I never heard from him again. So I ended up with his business building portable buildings. I thought it would be a good idea to put fiberglass on one of these sheds and turned it into a greenhouse. So made 2 of them, put one of them out on the street for people to see driving by. And it sold within a week, so I thought, wow, maybe that's a better deal than doing these storage buildings. And I enjoyed working with wood and building. And that was pretty much how we got started. Well, when I first got the idea to start Charley's, I really didn't have a name for it. And met a friend on the street, and he says, "What are you going to call your new greenhouse company?" Chuck's doesn't sound very good. He said, "Why don't you call it Charley?" And I said, "Well, I've never been known as Charley. I've always been Chuck." They said, "No, you need to name your company Charley's Greenhouse Supply." So I did. Fortunately, at the time I started, my wife was teaching school at the time, so she basically supported us while I got the company started. But Carol, over the years, has been very supportive in the business, and really was the marketing behind all the products that support growing plants. And I tended to be the hardware guy, but she knew how to grow plants, so that was her department, and couldn't have done it without her. Our mission, I don't think has really changed over the years. I think our first mission statement was we support gardeners of all ages to garden in harmony with nature. And didn't really mention greenhouses in our mission statement, but we always felt we wanted to be connected to nature and help gardeners figure out how to be more successful. Early days, yeah, it was tough. Most small businesses struggled in those first days, and we did for a while. But I think it was about 1998 when we could publish a full color catalog. It became cost effective because the digital age was coming on. When we could mail a digital color catalog, that really became a growth point for us, for the sales to take off. Of course, we were publishing before that black and white catalog starting in 1975, but it was the color catalog that made the big difference in our growth. Some of the early successes that we enjoyed was just having people call us and say how much they enjoyed their greenhouse. One of my favorite customer stories was we had a customer down south that put up I think it was a 10 by 12 greenhouse, and they were very excited to be building this greenhouse. And Monday morning, she called and said, "We were so happy with the greenhouse, so we moved their bed in it for the night and slept our first night under the stars." I guess what I'm most proud of in our career, our development at Charley's, would be the fact that we survived all these years and were able to adapt to the changing economic climate. But I think probably the biggest change was development of the internet, and we developed our first website in 1998, the fall of '98. Carol and I went to a symposium on Mail Order Marketing Association, I believe it was, in New York City. And there were about 400 people in the room. And the moderator asked, "Can I see a show of hands? How many companies here have active websites at this time?" And out of that 400, we were one of 6. So I felt pretty good. We were ahead of the curve, and we were on our way. Over the years, I think the biggest change that we developed was starting importing the greenhouses from BC Greenhouse. I first met the greenhouse builders, met Henry and Greta up in Burnaby. And we'd seen the greenhouse at a trade show. So I remember Henry was really friendly, and Greta was very reserved. And when we left, I was not at all sure that we were going to be a dealer for BC Greenhouse, but they thought about it and called us back and said, okay. So off we went. The relationship with BC Greenhouse evolved as we developed the national market and were able to publish the pictures of the BC Greenhouse product line in our catalog. It was a little bit of work to get the greenhouse kits down to Mount Vernon from Burnaby, but I actually enjoyed the trips across the border and loading up the kits in the back. One thing that was very memorable working with BC Greenhouse was their Christmas parties and being invited up across the border for celebration. I remember the harbor cruise and the catered dinner on the ship, and then a couple hockey games, and the Canucks won, about blew the roof off the stadium. So yeah, we developed a real friendship over the years. It was great. In 2008, we started manufacturing our own greenhouse. I always liked working with wood, cedar, and I know Henry had done a wood greenhouse at one time. But we felt that about 1 out of 10 customers were interested in a wood greenhouse. So that's why we started that. The core values for Charley's have been customer service and taking care of the customer, listening to the customer, finding out what it is they're really interested in. We've always had a very positive approach to the customer. I think those core values for Charley's really sustained us over the years and gave us a reputation where people would say, well, if you need an answer, go to Charley's, call Charley's. We developed the reputation in the Seattle area that way, and that really sustained us in our growth. I think the core values in Charley's and the core values in BC Greenhouse Builders are very closely aligned, that taking care of the customer is paramount. But the other thing in the cultures of the companies is respect, mutual respect, treating everybody as an equal within the company. And sure, you've got your hierarchy of responsibility, but there can be a very friendly atmosphere within that hierarchy. And that's what I believe in. I feel really fortunate to be able to hand the business off to BC Greenhouse Builders. I think Henry did a great job getting that business started, and I think the crew that's there now has done a great job of continuing what Henry and Greta started. Good luck.